Hello and welcome to Paranormal Lens, presented by Jott-Nyx Paranormal. I'm Kirstin Truccano, and joining me is Chad Thomas and Jamie Widener.
Hey, Kirstin.
Hey,
Hello.
Kirstin.
How have you guys been?
Here.
Yeah.
What do you say? The week goes by. And obviously, we talk and communicate somewhat anyway during the week. But it's like how when you don't see somebody for a while, you catch up. Like you got like 4 words out, and you're like, "Cool, we're good." It's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long week. A lot going on.
Yeah. I think this past week has been the most stress I have ever had, and I did not realize that would all come from a tiny 7-month-old.
Yes.
Surprise.
It's only just begun.
Yep.
I mean, she's starting to crawl around now, so that's even more stress. Is all of a sudden looking away for a second, looking back, and she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's like Jerry in an investigation.
Where's Jerry?
For those who don't know, Jerry Keller, one of our founders of Jott-Nyx Paranormal, will disappear during an investigation, and we're all just like, it's hashtag Where's Jerry? Back eventually.
Always over the radio.
Usually, he's probably getting some
Mm-hmm.
equipment, or just following a path he wants to follow. So it's all good. We all have that member in our respective teams who just does their thing. So it's all good.
Yep.
I still think my favorite is investigating with Jerry because he can't hear very well. And if he hears something, I'm like, all right, then there's something going on, because any other time he can't hear anything.
Yep. Agreed.
So.
But that's one of those points to say when someone is at a deficit in a certain way, like hearing or sight, other senses are heightened. So he does have a different kind of awareness, a different set of awareness than perhaps you and I do, as what we'll say fully functional or fully capable with hearing. And I do give him all the credit in the world for that. As a good solid investigator to begin with, he picks up on things that, detail wise, because he does have more attention to the detail then. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The details matter in investigations.
Yeah, they do.
They really do.
So I threw a comment up here accidentally earlier, but got some excitement already. Crowns Change and Ghosts, they saw through when they were in London this past September.
Oh, nice.
That's the Cocos.
Hey, Todd, good to see you guys. I'm sure Carmela's there somewhere. Or Carmelo, as I tend to call her often. Well.
Anything else, or should we just have Kirstin run with this?
Do it. Let's go.
Good.
Ooh,
Waiting for this one for a while.
So yeah, decided to take us back across over to England for the Tower of London. And I'll start by saying this was a lot of fun to do some research on. Again, fan of English history and all of that. It was very fun to kind of dive a bit more into the Tower of London. I'm going to start by doing my source, because I always forget that as I'm trying to keep it till the end. So the site that I used is www.hrp.org.uk. And let's get right into it.
Sounds good.
I'm sorry, there's a comment that came up, so.
Oh. Yeah, there is. I got it. Oh, you got it. I got it. We both got it. None of us got it. Yeah, I got it.
Well, I can't, so.
Right. It's also from Todd. LOL, she says hello. That's Carmelo or Carmela. And we miss you all. Need a road trip. Yes, sir, we do. I agree completely with that.
Hi, Bert.
And then Bert is like,
yep.
Hello, people.
Like, hello to you, sir.
All right.
And like all of us.
Squirrel.
I mean, that's how my mind works.
So,
right.
But anyway,
we'll get started.
Mm-hmm.
Few buildings on Earth have watched so much blood, ambition, fear, and spectacle unfold within their walls as the Tower of London. For nearly thousands of years, this fortress has loomed over the river Thames, not just as a castle, but as a warning, a promise of protection for some and a threat for others. Imagine medieval London. The city is cramped, loud, alive, and rising above it all is a massive stone keep, freshly built by William the Conqueror after his victory in 1066. To the defeat of the to the defeated English population, this wasn't just architecture. It was domination, carved into limestone. Today, the tower draws more than 3 million visitors each year. They come for the crown jewels, the ravens, the beefeaters, but they also come for something harder to define. A feeling, a sense that the past hasn't fully let go. Because the Tower of London doesn't just tell history, it remembers it. When William ordered the tower be built in the late 11th century, nothing like it existed in England. The stone was shipped from Caen to Normandy. Skilled masons crossed the channel. English laborers provided the muscle. The result was this great keep, later known as the White Tower, a fortress designed not just for defense, but for intimidation. This wasn't subtle. William wanted Londoners to look up and remember who ruled them. Over time, the tower evolved. Henry III and Edward I expanded it dramatically, adding massive curtain walls, multiple towers, and a wide moat. By the 13th century, it had become the strongest concentric castle in England, layer upon layer of defense. In 1240, Henry III ordered the keep painted white, giving us the name we still use today. Yet for all its military strength, the tower wasn't only a fortress, it was a home. For more than 500 years, monarchs lived in the Tower of London. Lavish apartments, private chapels, feasts and ceremonies filled the halls. Henry III lived there with Eleanor of Provence, and Edward I stayed with Eleanor of Castile. Foreign dignitaries were welcomed with pageantry and splendor. There was even a zoo. Lions, leopards, monkeys, and famously a polar bear gifted to Henry III. The bear was reportedly allowed to fish in the Thames on a very long chain. At the same time, the tower housed the Royal Mint. Every coin in England was produced here for centuries. Royal armor, Royal armor was forged and stored inside its walls. The crown jewels were locked away and guarded just as they are today. But comfort and cruelty lived side by side, because if the tower was the safest place in England, it was also the most feared. To be sent to the tower was never a good thing. During the Tudor period, especially, the tower became the state prison for enemies of the crown, political rivals, religious dissenters, and failed favorites. Elizabeth I found herself imprisoned here before she became queen. Lady Jane Grey, Sir Walter Raleigh, and Guy Fawkes were some of the prisoners to name. Some prisoners stayed days, others spent decades inside the cold stone walls, never knowing if release or execution awaited them. Guy Fawkes was tortured after the gunpowder plot in 1605, likely on the rack. Walter Raleigh spent over 13 years imprisoned, during which he attempted suicide. Even in the 20th century, the tower was used for executions. During World War I, German spies were shot within its grounds. And yet some of the most chilling stories belong to royalty itself. Few mysteries in the British history are as haunting as the princes in the tower. In 1483, Edward V, aged 12, and his younger brother, Richard, Duke of York, were housed in the tower for their own protection. However, they were never seen again. Nearly 200 years later, In 1674, two small skeletons were found beneath a staircase in the White Tower. The bones belonged to two young boys, roughly around the same age as the missing princes. Charles II ordered them to be reburied at Westminster Abbey in their names. Were they murdered? If so, by whom? Could it possibly be Richard III that murdered them, or someone else? The tower offers no answers, only silence. Tower Green is deceptively peaceful today, but it has witnessed some of the most brutal moments in English history. Anne Boleyn was brought here in 1563, accused of adultery, incest, and treason. Just 3 years earlier, she had entered the tower in celebration before her coronation. Now she entered as a condemned woman. She was executed by sword, which was a rare mercy. Catherine Howard followed, then Lady Jane Grey, only 17 years old, and executed after being used as a political pawn. Margaret Pole's execution was especially horrific. At 67, she was hacked to death by an inexperienced executioner. Her screams are said to echo still. They were all buried hastily beneath the chapel of St. Peter, and in 1876 their remains were respectfully re-entered, names engraved in marble. But some say they never truly left. There are reports of Arabella Stuart, a lady who was in line for the throne, is said to also wander those halls with these queens. Among the tower's strangest residents are its ravens. Legend claims that the ravens are to ever leave, both the tower and the monarchy will fall. When astronomer John Flamsteed complained that the birds interfered with his observations, Charles II briefly ordered the removal. He quickly reversed this decision after hearing the prophecy. Today, at least 6 ravens are kept at the tower at all times. They are fed, named, and guarded like living talismans. And bad omens never are treated with such respect. And now for some of the ghosts that are there. Anne Boleyn is said to walk the grounds, sometimes carrying her own head, leading a silent procession to the chapel where she lies buried. Henry IV appears in the Wakefield Tower each year on May 21st, pacing before dissolving into stone. Lady Jane Grey's pale figure has been seen on the battlement on the anniversary of her death. Arabella Stuart, starved and broken, is said to haunt the Queen's house. Guards have reported white, faceless figures. One soldier collapsed in 1864 after charging a ghost with his bayonet and passing straight through it. Beds have been shaken. Figures have dragged people from sleep. Even animals refuse certain rooms. And then there's the Phantom Bear. Victorian accounts describe a monstrous apparition, so terrifying it allegedly caused a soldier's death from shock. Whether they're legends, hallucinations, or echoes of trauma trapped in stone, one thing is for certain: the tower remembers. The Tower of London has been a fortress, a palace, a prison, a treasury, and a grave. It has protected kings and destroyed them. Perhaps that's why it still unsettles us, because the tower isn't just history preserved behind glass. It's power, fear, and ambition stacked layer upon layer, just like its walls. And long after the gates close for the night, some say the tower never truly sleeps. That's all I got right now.
Okay.
It's a great place to start.
It is.
Well, here, let me put up some comments that we've got throughout the presentation. Todd and Carmela, we did the tour and it's amazing. Like many historic sites in the UK, the pics don't do it justice. The ravens are big as heck. So, and then Carmela said, the stretching rack in that large armor. Hi, everyone. And then Bert was, think Jott-Nyx can get us in there to investigate? Do you think they have that pull, Jamie?
Well, you never know until you ask, right?
Let's just email, like.
And then Heather said that she'll do a road trip with us.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
I have a friend that she's been to England now twice, and when I mentioned I was doing the Tower of London, she got excited. She said it is a fascinating place to go to. She's on kind of like Jamie. She likes to be on the skeptical side. And what is it you say, Jamie? You're
Unsensitive.
unsensitive? Yes.
Unsensitive. Yep.
She still says the energy there is very intense in some areas.
Well, with a place like that, with that much history, going back that far, and then an inexperienced executioner who hacked somebody to death, that's the one that caught my attention. You too, Jamie, because I saw you shaking your head at the same time I was.
Just not the way to go. Like,
No.
And
it's better not being executed, right? And then
Right.
The history of Margaret Pole, she was one of the last Plantagenets. She stood up to Henry a lot, and that was her reason for her death. I swear when I was reading that was because Henry didn't like her. That was him kind of being like, this will show everything. Let's make it painful for her. But
could be a thing that was done. Send in the least experienced executioner and give him some experience.
I wish I knew if it was true or not. I've heard a rumor that she basically she ran around the platform and made him work for it, and I really hope that's true.
Mm-hmm. Here's another comment. The budget on the King's armor, when we saw it in person, it was the focal point of all the people walking through.
Oh, yeah. That was Henry's armor, if I remember correctly. I know there's, and again, doing a deep dive, there were stories that I couldn't, again, it was just stories I saw posted online of people that actually had lived near the tower or things like that they say all the time that they'll see like figures and everything walking on the walls and stuff, and it's I want to see it. I would love to just be walking around there at night and just to see these figures. I know you guys said about Margaret Pole with the inexperienced executioner struck you guys. The one that struck me the most was Lady Jane Grey. For many that don't know, she was the 9-Day Queen. And she was young. She was 17. And she was a political pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that one stuck with me.
Well, I'm going to say this to kind of be a little silly, but yeah, everything I know about this era, I learned from watching the Tudors show on Showtime many years ago. But it seemed like every episode someone was getting sent to the tower. Every other episode, it's actually available on Amazon now. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend. Like 3 seasons, easy to watch. You can binge it in a weekend. Really, really well done show too. Period piece, of course, but any of these things, you don't get the scale of a place. Like Bert's comment, or I'm sorry, Todd's comment about the pics don't do justice. Because it's grand, it's huge. And you can't really see it. Like every time we try to present something that we're just giving you a vision of it, but it's not live. I was thinking that way about the Castle of Good Hope a couple weeks ago when we did that episode. It's too big to get it all at once. And these kind of places are like that in the scale, and the fact that somebody lived there, like that's just
Mhm.
impressive, like amazingly impressive. First
Mhm.
of all, and William the Conqueror's vision of building this place was really a thumb, in the nose of the English people, and the fact that it kind of turned back in and became this place, and it's got, as aged as it is, it's got so much history that there has to be stuff going on.
Right.
Um, I find it really interesting as you were describing the spirits, and each of them were at a different part of the property.
Mhm.
It's not like everybody congregates together, and they have their own special place, and they probably were that separated in their own time. And
Mhm.
not they all weren't there at the same time. I get that, but
Right.
the property is so big and vast that they could have had their own areas that they really wouldn't have had to deal with each other very often,
Right.
and that would have been their safe space,
Right.
perhaps, or their treasured space to be away from the trauma and drama, the turmoil that the crown was.
Right.
So,
And we talk about that
right.
often is it, if you're going to come back and as a spirit and haunt something, you're going to go to a place that you're comfortable,
Yeah,
that you want to hang out, not some place that you were tormented or, sometimes that happens, but you're going to want to go to that your happy place.
absolutely.
Right. Well, and um, Anne Boleyn, it wasn't a happy place there for her. Um, so that's where I'm like, yeah, not every instance is going to be a happy, comfortable place. Although there is also reports of Anne Boleyn at another castle that is actually where she lived with Henry. But like,
Hmm.
I feel like each person that has died there or is haunting there now has left some energy that it just keeps them stuck there,
Yeah,
including a polar bear apparently.
Um, Todd also commented that the glass table has all the names of those who were put to death there. So right there's a piece of history, an artifact that's holding so much power and energy. You
yeah,
know,
Well, and I'm pretty sure the glass table is also at the site of where I know it's where Anne Boleyn was executed. I'm not sure if it's also where Catherine Howard was executed. Um, but all the photos, like I saw, like up close, I'm like, oh wow, it doesn't look that big. And then I finally got to the one that was like that massive overview, and I'm like, oh, that's massive.
hmm
Um, I just, I would like to see this place more than Hampton Court. Like, I feel like this is I wouldn't spend just a day there. I think this would be, I'm going back for a couple days.
yep. I was just thinking the same thing. There's no way to catch it all, and I peeked at the website, and there's packages too, so you really can't see it all in a single day because the way it's separated out, um, it is too big to do it all.
Well, and like the crown jewels that are there, the one of the photos that has all like the different crowns and everything. The first one is actually, I know Elizabeth and Charles had that was the crown that was used in their coronation. So I'm not sure if that is the crown that's used at every coronation or if it's just one that they have chosen. So
Yep.
there's history there with the jewels that are there.
Well, sure. Yeah, and that's just another point of opulence, to show their value, how much they have, and to some that is impressive, and to others that's negative, and that could lead to some turmoil as well.
I
hmm
just hope, I would love to see someone try to attempt to break in there to steal some of those jewels, because I feel like that would be the quickest shut down on that robbery.
Yeah. You can become a member for, 60 pounds a year and have unlimited visits.
There you go.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to get like multiple plane tickets, do a few road trips.
Yep.
and see if I can
Seriously,
find
it's
polar
doable.
bear.
60 pounds, just do the conversion on it. That's really not that much.
No, it's not.
And, the expense is just the trip then.
You can get a family membership for 115 pounds a year, or a lifetime membership for 1,500. So then you can go back every year.
Every year I'm
That's a
going to go and
10-year
try and
family
find this
plan.
polar
So
bear.
Uh-huh.
now you just got to find some friends that live in England, right?
Well, we have friends who live in France now. I mean, that's close.
That's true. That's true. It's the south of France, though.
Yeah.
I
Bit of a
do
trip.
have a friend that lives in Scotland, so
All right. Well, there's a train ride then. So
Yeah.
you get. See, it's starting to come together. It's time to talk things through.
And Kirstin, you're gonna like this. You get, if you have a membership, you get unlimited entry to Hampton Court and the Tower of London and Kensington Palace. I mean, so you
it's Kensington.
and Hillsborough. So like you got,
Deep breaths. Deep breaths. It's going to be okay.
Listen, I'm only going for the tower right now for those ravens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ravens are pretty impressive.
I did look up before their names, and I wish I would have written them down because I know one of the ravens had actually fled the tower, and like there was like a daily tracker of where this raven had went in like London until he finally returned home. And it's like that, you know what? He needed a vacation from the tower.
He went on a road trip of his own.
Yeah, there were too many ghosts around. He didn't want to do ghost stuff anymore, so he took a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not want to do ghost stuff?
Well, the names are Harris, Jubilee, Poppy, Edgar, Georgie, Chaos, Henry, and Poe.
I don't know which one's the one that escaped, but I really hope it's Chaos.
That seems perfect.
Feels right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it definitely seems like an interesting place to visit, spend time.
yeah, there's too many palaces now in England that I want to go visit. I think when I eventually go, that's number one is Tower of London.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I love history. There's a lot of sad history there, but also,
Well, for as much as they're sad, there's got to be happy too.
There's got to be happy. I mean, like I said, 3 years.
That's we hear negativity. Sorry, when we get these, we're talking about paranormal stuff because it's usually around someone dying or, in this case, execution. There's some negative end to their lives. But there were happy times there. There was joy. There was pleasure of sorts. Whatever it is, entertainment wise or whatever. This was a home for a very long time as well, so it couldn't all be bad. So you get that blend over generations and generations like this. It must be the most intriguing place. And as Bert clearly says here, definitely haunted.
Definitely haunted. I would like to just know,
I concur.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just want I want to feel the energy around, like not even just in the walls. Like I feel like the energy around there has to be charged too. I mean, I've gone to like Penhurst and just driving towards there, I could feel like a whole energy shift. And I feel like the tower would be the same thing. I'm just curious about how close to the tower you have to get before you would feel that whole shift.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would be very interested to do a time slip through there. That would be
really cool.
Yeah, there's an echoing comment to Bert. Families were raised there. It was a home for many generations, but definitely haunted.
Yeah, I mean, like it said, 3 years before Anne Boleyn was executed, she was there celebrating her coronation.
Mm-hmm.
So there was definitely happy times.
Right. Well,
And
all these places have happy times and tragedy,
yeah.
and I think you need that mix to have the energy. Even at some of the places we think of as horrible places, there was some happiness there for people.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, this is a place that's always like emphasized on the tragedy that has happened there.
mhm.
I think it would be interesting, like, if they were somehow like, hey, this month we're doing investigations, you pay this much, you can come do that. I would love to do that and just ask the questions to these spirits to try and talk and see what the happy moments were.
Right.
Because I'm sure that would always be the people coming asking all the dark, terrible questions. And you know what? It's like, let's give them something different.
Yeah, well, you guys know how I feel about this. We in the field tend to ask people trauma-inducing questions,
Right.
or of the spirits anyway. How did you die? Do you know you're dead? What was the thing that happened to you? All this stuff. And if I were, well, first of all, it's boring, right? It's the same stuff. You keep getting asked the same question over and over and over again. Would I want to answer that? No. But it really doesn't show any genuine interest in the person and who they were, what their likes were, where their passions lied, or whatever their energy was focused toward. It's always about the end. And what about the during? And I give Frank Yadayo a lot of credit for this, for me getting that in a conversation, as he is a great investigator. First of all, Frank, you're out there. Shout out to you, buddy. But we and he is also then a social worker by trade, so he gets it on a daily. And coming through social work and social services myself, I see it all too often. People were measured by the mistakes they may have made to get them to a place, which then makes them a negative, instead of all the positives they have and all the hope that they could, they have to gain a better station. And everybody's got hopes and dreams, and what a better way to start a conversation with someone you don't know is to talk about the positive things. So,
Right.
and you're right, to get there and get that conversation started could open so many opportunities, to connect. That would be fantastic, especially with so much history and so many generations there of opportunity. That'd be so cool. But we have that everywhere we go.
Right.
Like, we just miss the mark sometimes because we fall into the patterns of what's been done and how the investigation quote should be done.
Right.
That we're just not we're missing the mark, and somebody could be right there wanting to communicate, but just like they're like, I'm not doing that. And we make those choices in life, right? Whether we communicate or connect with somebody or not, based on how they present to us and how they treat us. That you never get a second chance at a first impression.
Mhm.
That's the moment right there. That's our first impression. So maybe we just need to change. I'm off my soapbox. Sorry. Go now.
With asking questions, I want to know what questions would you ask the ghost bear to get them to communicate?
Yeah, that's a great. After I said all that, I should have something to say, right?
Well, while you think about that, we'll put this up. When we were in the bottom of the White Tower, Carmela had an experience and saw a figure that was running up a spiral staircase that was roped off to the public.
Ooh.
So, I mean, you may not be able to go in and do night investigations, and have the
You're
place
still
to
gonna
yourself.
see stuff.
But a place like this, and if you can find a quiet little corner, you can sit and have a discussion. I don't know if they, I'm sure they don't discourage it. Maybe they do. I don't know what the rules are, but
Right.
it's hard to keep investigations from happening, especially when the spirits are appearing.
Yeah, and well, we say this often. Everybody's experience is going to be unique to them anyway. And paranormal stuff doesn't just happen at night.
Right.
We do it at night simply because things are calmer, quieter. There's less activity of other things that would be detractors to contaminate or challenge or compromise our investigation and our tactics, or especially our evidence.
Right.
But you could very easily go do a session, an EVP session in the middle of the day, or run cameras all day long. It certainly happens, and
I
and
mean,
you catch
think
things.
life happened 24 hours a day then, just like it does now. So,
Exactly.
Mhm.
And more
Todd's
so in the daytime, simply because they didn't have electricity, so
right.
they weren't up necessarily all night unless they're in their first sleep, second sleep cycle. But that's fascinating to me that we just forget about that
Hmm.
and push everything to nighttime to go do it. Just wander around.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Todd said it was quiet and they were the only ones in the area. So,
Wow, and it was meant to be.
yeah. I mean, Jamie, you and I investigated at the fort,
No, Fort
Fort
Mifflin,
Mifflin
yes,
during
yeah,
the day. And,
yep,
people, people came while we were there, but it's like, not a lot. And,
yeah. It was,
we got activity.
we did, we really did, and so much so that it was kind of like wow, yeah. And that's the moment, though. That's the
Right.
point. Is those kind of things. If we didn't go that day, and if we were whenever we have the privilege of going and doing a nighttime investigation, that we'll get there eventually. I know that,
Uh-huh.
I
but
want to go
you know
back so bad.
we have the expectation that things are going to happen then, of course, because we're there with all our stuff. We walked in with a voice recorder, perhaps, and a K2 or something very basic.
And a laser grid.
It would fit in our pockets,
Yep.
because we weren't there with our gear. We were there just to get a lay of the land, like do the pre for the
Right.
episode we covered, and you don't need a lot of stuff. Is also the point.
Right.
Um, and the good sense of just sitting down and being quiet for a while,
Hmm.
asking a couple simple questions, having a little bit of history. It didn't hurt us in that case, especially in the casemate.
Right.
But um, it happens. You're right. It happens all around us. We just got to be attentive.
Hmm.
So to go back to the question I was asked, I think the first thing I would want to know is what was life like there. What did they enjoy about being there? And try to turn that to, first of all, ask open-ended questions, right? Did you like it here? Well, that's a yes or no answer, right? But what did you like? And try to be the conversation that you want to have with a person who's in
Right.
the room with you. And that's the thing I think we forget sometimes too. It's not a dog and pony show. They're not doing tricks for us. We're talking to people who may not know they're not with us anymore, for that matter. They're doing their thing and the things that they would normally do. And so the questions that we would ask would be ones that we want to know of others around us in the current. But what's the likes? What's the positivity? Um,
What's the best dessert?
right. Simple things. Well, I mean, the first question I would ask at Booby's Brewery was, okay, so you make a lager. What else do you like to make?
Uh-huh.
I was trying to get something going with Eloise, some warmth.
I mean, I always ask the girls, where, how's the cat, and have you done any fun things to amuse the cat?
Right. Like
I had a
Taebodo's
conversation
tail.
about musical instruments one time, and like I knew they played. So, like, what instruments did you guys do? What did you like to play, and did you trade them off? There's an activity occurs.
Well, and around the holidays, we would ask questions about like, did you like singing Christmas carols? What songs did you sing? Like, and then we would say, well, a couple times during the holiday season, we would play Christmas music and
Yeah, we've
in
sung a few
German.
carols ourselves. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, those are the things that you're better off asking. Just life questions, not death questions.
yeah.
So,
Well, here's to hoping we all start to change
hmm
in a good way.
yeah,
So, road trip?
Yeah, I'm in.
sure.
Let's go.
Let's go. Paranormal Lens. We'll just do a week of going to different places in England.
I mean, if we're going to England, if we're making the trip to England, then you got to stay for at least a week, and you may as well hit some paranormal spots while you're there, right?
Absolutely.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get something like BritBox to sponsor us.
Maybe.
I keep seeing ads for it, so it's got to be it's a thing. So all your British
do it.
shows in one
Let's
place.
get sponsored.
And well, and then of course we'll have to do some castles with the Lynches, and some of the,
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
pack
So
everybody up. We'll all go.
we make this a 2-week thing. 1 week of England, and then we go with the Lynches up to Scotland, and then we try to find a Kelpie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a
One
plan.
of us may not come back, but that's okay.
But how do you mean? Wait a minute.
All right, bye, Jamie.
Fine. Yeah. Hey, I mean, like, as long as I'm still alive, I would be happy to stay. Don't get me wrong. I think we have
No.
find some interesting things.
To be fair, me as the horse person, I would see the horse go, "Oh, you're pretty," and then I'm gone.
All right.
Well, yeah. Don't ever get on the horse, right?
No.
I remember that.
There's a horse by water. Don't go towards it.
Mm-hmm. It looks like the Lynches are in.
Yes.
So
All we had to say was road trip, and they were in. Come on, really.
this is true.
That's like more than a road trip.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got a whole, like,
We got to charter a jet now.
I was gonna say we're gonna get the discount rates with.
What is
Perfect.
we're trying to get the what is it, the Parabus? Now we're going to get the Paraplane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Todd said we were there 10 days and could have spent a few days more. Definitely, I can't read tonight either. Apparently,
That's how I was with Japan. We were there about 10 days, and we probably could have did like another week. So I get it. Yes, we got it.
we got a tour guide now. So I think this is all coming together. So
I think so.
Now we need the sponsors, or one of us has to win the lottery.
Got to play to win.
I
guess
Gotta
that's
play to win.
have to start actually playing.
So Chad, you have a niece that had a birthday today, actually.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And a celebration on Sunday afternoon. I got her first lottery ticket, and she had a $10 winner. So,
Nice.
Except it doesn't count because she didn't turn to 18 till today.
well, I know, right? So, I'm thinking maybe get the ticket back. That starts her seeding, her seed money. But yeah, got to do something.
Uh-huh.
The world is a very big place, and there is paranormal everywhere. And I think that's one of the beauties of, as we're discovering as we go forward, and through all these seasons we've done and all we've got ahead of us. We have, I say this all the time, paranormal has no walls, but really it is everywhere. And people have been dying for thousands and thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting things, therefore, have come from their experiences here on Earth, and all the other things that could be with us, such as elementals, as we discussed very recently. Mm-hmm. So, anywhere we go, we could find something. And that's to say, like, to go to the UK or anywhere, on a road trip, if one of us doesn't make it back, it might be because there's just so much stuff to do there where it's just going to hang out for a lot longer.
Right. Yeah.
You won't get bored.
No.
It might get broke really fast.
Well, Bert has a solution there. GoFundMe.
Yeah. We fund all kinds of things. Why not that?
So.
And then we finally have an episode that it's all three of us in the same area. It's even more special.
Yeah, we could do a live episode there. All sorts of stuff.
God, we'd be up very late or something trying to hit the correct time.
Well, we're paranormal investigators. We're up late anyway. Come on, really.
I have a 7-month-old. I'm already up late.
Yeah. Well, speaking of our French friends, when Amanda joined us a while back, I believe it was 3:00 and at 3 a.m. So, in the south of France. So I have to imagine it's the same, if not very close to it.
I believe so.
In the UK, so fairly close time zone, if not one ahead or one behind, either way. But 3 or 4 in the morning is still in the realm of an investigator's time on site. So, why not?
Yeah, just take a nap beforehand,
or just don't tough it out. I don't know.
Chug a lot of energy drinks. That's how I do an investigation.
Can't say I haven't done it. You're right. And of course, Twizzlers and some Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
We may have to do a follow up to this because Todd just sent me a bunch of pictures and videos from his trip.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
9 actually. So
okay.
It'd be hard to drop them in now, but thanks for sending them, Todd. We'll maybe next week or at some point we'll do a little follow up and use some of these from Todd's trip.
Perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And Bert's validating our time differential here. So it's 9 p.m. here is 2 a.m. in the UK. So
That's
it's not too
fine.
bad.
That's nothing.
We do that all the time.
we do it on the day where we're jet lagged, and we'll still be awake. And
Yeah. It just, we got to time it that we would get there on a Tuesday.
Yep.
And it'd be fine.
The tech guy doesn't know about that, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, because that's how everything works.
I trust the tech guy to figure it out.
I'm sure he would figure it out.
Oh my! Well, this was a fun story. It's it's great to have an active conversation with our guests or our patrons and people watching us.
Absolutely.
And Todd said he would have sent the ahead of time if he knew this was the topic. So I guess we got to get better about getting the information out there, huh?
I think so.
So
We can do that.
yeah.
All right. If only we said what we were going to do next week at the end of the episode, or the week, a couple weeks. If
Wait,
only
is this a segue?
Is there a way to do that?
There is.
We're all busy. We're all busy people.
We
I
are.
get it. Totally get it.
So, and Carmela said, just keep going. Don't stop. Keep going.
Yeah.
So,
That's what you got to do. You just got to power through.
So anyway, yeah, Kirstin, good job on this. It was interesting. Like I said, it did spark a good conversation. So
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And I think it's safe to say that if anybody's out there, and you're catching this, obviously you're not with us right now, at least not logging in to say hi or anything. But if you're out there catching us through the streaming services later and you've been to the tower and you have a story, share it with us. Drop us a line. There's the comment section at the episode, or we'll share our email address here in a minute on how to connect with us directly if you prefer it. But we'd love to hear those kind of stories.
Absolutely.
Really cool when we did the Hold the Folk episode a while back now in Iceland, but a neat connection from a resident who had a situation, a story to share there. So sometimes this personal stuff is really cool.
Right.
So please reach out, touch base.
Heather says you have to have Twizzlers, and I'm not sure if the UK has them, so we may have to bring our own.
All right. Well, we have a plant.
Or we just find the UK's version of a Twizzler.
Sure. Now, hold on.
No, because that could go wrong.
So I lived in California for a while, and really Twizzlers don't exist on the West Coast for some reason. It's red vines instead, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I'm okay packing. I'll give up some weight in my bag to get the family-sized Twizzlers in the suitcase.
The 3-pound box, since we'll be there for 2 weeks.
We can ship stuff. It'll be okay.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll have my husband just ship us Twizzlers.
Yeah.
He'll give us the care package. It'll be good.
Well, hold on. I expect the whole family to come along on this. So, right?
Oh, we're bringing the baby too?
Got to bring the baby. You got
He's going to do ghost stuff too?
It's a great place to start, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To be fair, her first investigation was Trans-Allegheny.
That's true.
Yep. So
fair enough.
She's already been doing ghost stuff.
Well,
I don't know if you popped this up or not, but thank you, Heather, for validating red vines are not the same. I don't know who makes red vines. I'm not trying to get sued by it, but no, they're not the same.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Well,
this is how we get cease and desist.
Bert, Bert's comment.
Yeah, hell no imposters. Absolutely right.
Well, on that note, before we get the cease and desist order, let's talk about what's coming up.
I'll calm down, I promise.
So next week, it's going to be my turn again, and March 3rd at 9 p.m., Where Silence Screams, Kings Park Psychiatric Facility. So I started to look at this. It could be an interesting episode. Could be a dud, but it could be an interesting episode. I think we're going to have fun.
We got to work on your marketing here a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great episode.
It's going to be a great episode. You come check it out. How's that, Jamie? Is that better?
So what's better?
Listen,
it might be all
we
right.
believe in you.
Well, I'm glad you believe in me. I appreciate that.
That's true. The only person I believe in more than you is the tech guy.
Yeah. You just never see him, right?
Never.
Never.
I believe in the tech guy.
So,
He's working in the back.
yep. So,
Jazz the tech guy. Oh, that's right.
What?
So anyway, looking forward after that, March 10th, Jamie's going to be doing No Vacancy for the Living, the Goldfield Hotel.
Yep.
March 17th, Kirstin will be Echoes in the Halls, the Haunting of the Stanley Hotel. Then it will be back to me for the Edinburgh Vaults, Life and Death Underground. And March 31st, Jamie, I kept it simple, the Bridgewater Triangle.
That's perfect.
So
10 out of 10.
So yeah, we got a bunch of good things coming up. They're going to be great. How's that, Jamie? Better?
Yes, much better.
All right. And if you want to comment on our episodes, tell us how great they've been, and or if you have some suggestions to make them better, we would appreciate that too. There's multiple ways of contacting us. You can reach out through our website at www.Jott-Nyx You can check out the Paranormal Lens there. We have a tab. You can also reach out to the team and make contact with us that way. You can email us directly at paranormallenspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to check out all our social media and all the other things that we have going on, including a shopping page, get some swag with Paranormal Lens on it, you can do that at linktree.com/paranormal lens. That's linktr.ee/paranormal lens. And if you like what we're doing, and want to help us out a little bit, keep the costs down for us, reach out and buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/paranormal9. Or if you're watching us, the QR code that's up there will take you right to the site and check us out. We appreciate any help that we can get. It keeps things going. It helps fund our research. It helps keep the show on the air, as they say. So
keeps the lights on.
Keeps the lights on. Oh, and that's right. I forgot. Today is Heather and Bert's anniversary. Congratulations. So
absolutely. Way to go, guys. Happy 9th and 900 to go.
Mm-hmm. And Todd enjoyed the show and the topics, and you guys have a great rest of the week too.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Any thoughts to wrap this up? Because I'm not prepared.
Doesn't mean we have to mumble a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say here, though, and I was thinking about this in a different direction altogether, but you were talking about the rack earlier, and it made me think of, and Kirstin, you might be a little too young for this one, but the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
Okay. There's one point when they go back to the England and they're like talking about being put in the Iron Maiden, and they get like excellent, and then then it's really a torture device, like bogus, and then but those these things, these devices were so it all has the rack doesn't sound terrible, right? I mean, if you put torture in front of it, it sounds awful. But
right.
Just to call it that, or the Iron Maiden, it doesn't have like a whole negative thing. But there were so many things that people made. Somebody genius of creation was to make this thing that would hurt people, and how awful that is. That it kept getting used over and over and over again. Bert's not that kind of rack. This comment, I like racks. Yeah, okay, but not that kind.
What about rack?
This is not the Nordstrom store over on Fruitville Pike. The mind of someone to come up with these devices is pretty awful, and goodness that we don't use them anymore for a lot of reasons. The same thing as hangings are not, is meant for executions anymore, or electric chairs. I mean, there are so many things. Well, they are, I guess, the chairs still used, but there are so many things that have been deemed cruel and inhuman, but they were what was common in this era, and it's amazing.
Right.
And if you go back to watch The Tudors, and I do recommend you do it. Actually, it's a rather good show. There was it happened all the time, and it didn't take much to get to be sent to your death. You just had to look at the guy wrong, and Henry wrong, and there you were gone.
Right.
It's crazy. the whim of a monarch. So it's an interesting time.
Mm-hmm. So
All right, did I stall enough on that?
you did, but I do. Emmy sent me a text and said the UK does have Twizzlers.
Ah, thank God.
So, you can save that luggage space, Jamie.
Cheers, Em. Thanks.
I'm so glad our research intern is helping out.
That's great.
And I have a feeling they're just listening to me. They're not actually watching the show, though. But they're on top of it, so I got to give them credit.
They're on top of it. They're working. It's good.
Yep. So next,
listening to you is the same thing. Okay, let's just be clear. They're attentive to the episode.
Next, they're going to want to be paid. We got to
we got to be careful here. Yeah,
paid internship. So
$1 per episode.
Buy me a coffee is more important than ever. Okay.
Buy me a coffee pays our interns.
Down. I get paid. What? So anyway, on that note, let's
do not quit your job. Okay.
Crowns, conspiracies, executions, and ghosts. The Tower of London is more than a landmark. It's a place where history and mystery live side by side. The longer a place stands, the more it seems to hold on to. So thanks for looking through the lens with us tonight. And remember, stay alert, stay respectful, and stay curious. Until next week, good night, everybody.